Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Focus on Gaming podcast, episode number 56. I'm Martin, and I've got Duncan with me tonight.
Hello.
Duncan. How are you?
No, Tom, because he's got poorly baby.
Yeah, so just the original two tonight. So and a Coke as well. I got your arrival. Is it?
No, Dr. Pepper. What's the worst that could happen? So I'm expecting something weird to happen. Yeah, but no, just the two of us. So we were going to talk about building stuff, but Tom wants to talk about that, I think. So we'll keep that for episode 57.
Yeah, some good building games to chat about.
Yes. So if anybody knows wants us to talk about a building game in particular, we mean like building like Minecraft, Ark, SimCity, city builders, that kind of thing. But that's episode 57. Today, or the last couple of weeks, we haven't done? What have you been playing? So what have you been playing, Tom? Tom. Martin. Talking about Tom.
Tom's on your mind. Yeah.
Martin.
I have. So I've been playing, the last couple of weeks, played quite a few games. I won't go through them all. Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot, yes, came out on the 8th, I think, didn't it? It's currently, when we're recording this, the 11th. So the day.
Yeah, it was quite recent when it came up.
Onto Game Pass.
Yeah, so the Insane
Trilogy, yes.
Trilogy, yeah. So
it's not a new game, is it? It's an old.
Yeah, it's been out for quite a few years, but it's new to Game Pass.
2017. It's actually 7 years old. Huh, there you go.
Yeah, so I started on the first one, and I think we were having a little chat before, and we realised how hard they are. The original Crash. I mean, the fourth one's really hard as well. So they kept it tight with it. But I
never played the fourth one.
Oh, the fourth one's really good, but it is really difficult as well. But if you ever get a chance, if it ever comes to Game Pass,
hopefully it will come to Game Pass. Yes, fingers crossed.
So I've done the first world bit on the first one, and I did start off. I was like, I'm going to try and get all the boxes on each level. Did that for one level, and I was like, nah, I'm just.
With good intentions, so you thought, nope, sod this.
The jumping. When I first played it, I think I was having the streaming wasn't great, and it was just unplayable. But then I played it yesterday, and it was a lot better. But it was still hard to judge the jumping.
I found the first one. It was. You sort of expect the feet to land where the head is, kind of thing, but it doesn't. It's sort of his head goes forward and his feet land behind. So I could never quite get used to where he was landing, and it didn't help that it's. I don't know. I'm trying to think back to when the first one came out, because I owned the first one on PlayStation when it came out, and. I'm trying to think of whether that one was bad compared to the second one, because I tried the second one and I immediately found it a lot easier to do the
jump. Yeah, I mean, I've stuck with the first one so far, but like jumping, especially when they're like boxes in the air and you got to try and judge the jump.
Yes, if you landed the small platforms, it was really hard. You'd slip off the back or slip off the front.
There were times where I'd done the jump and I swear I wasn't pressing the controller, and he would move forward and fall off the kit, and I was just like screaming. I was like, why are you doing that? Like, now I got to go all the way back to that checkpoint. And one of the time it was a game over. I had to restart the whole level, and that was so
was Crash sort of looking at you while he was slipping off, like, oh, I'm going, I'm going to go?
It was like, it was a bit like slow motion.
He's just a dick, isn't he, really?
Brought back those memories, because I remember playing it on the PlayStation, like when it originally came out, and that, you would really want to just like get into a checkpoint and just be like, oh, thank goodness I got to a checkpoint. And then
carry one extra life, and you'd be like, "Oh,
yeah." Also, you could just getting 100 apples or something like that, and just being relieved. And when you're getting right near the end of a checkpoint, you're like starting to get anxious because you're like, I cannot die here. Or when you know you've got no lives and it's going to be game over. Like, it still has all that jeopardy like the original game does,
But
which is...
it is a really... I certainly didn't remember it being this hard. Because I completed 1 and 2 on PlayStation 1. Absolutely. I definitely have completed them both. But I don't remember it being quite this hard to do it. I mean, one thing is that there isn't a game over where you lose all your progress in the game. So all you have to do is you can go back to an earlier level, get a load of apples, get a load of extra lives, and you're sorted. Do the first level 10 times, and you'll have 15 lives. But it doesn't help if there's one particular bit that you just keep falling off in particular.
Well, I was on, I can't remember what the level was called, but it's like the last level in the world where you go, essentially you're like climbing upwards.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, really, the upwards ones.
It's like a really hard level, and there was one particular bit, it was right near the end, and I just couldn't work it out because like the fire, it was one of these...
Was it 3 fires in a row?
Yeah. Yeah,
yes.
And I was like, if I don't have an Oompa Loompa, whatever they're called, and they're not called Oompas, but if I don't have an Uber, I'm not doing this. And if I lost my Uber for it, I was like, oh, that's it, I'm screwed now and I did, but somehow I got past it.
I worked it out. Well, I mean, you have to jump before the fire goes out.
Yeah, I just changed the timing in the end, and But you're waiting for like, okay, the fire's out, so I'll jump now. And then you jump off the first one. And by the time you get to the third one, the fire's back on and you're like, I don't know what.
Yes, so you have to, when the first one is still on fire, you have to jump to it then. But if you jump too early, you're on fire. And if you jump too late, I got there in the end.
And I did it without having one of those masks. But yeah, I was like, the only way I'm going to be able to do it is having one of those masks and just having that tape.
That was the bit that got me as well. I had to restart the level because I didn't work it out at first, and then worked it out just as I lost a life by mistiming it, and that's restart the whole flipping level again.
Do you want to have a quick moan? We'll come back to Crash Bandicoot, but I want to have a quick moan about games.
I like moans.
Not like a moans about the games, but Call of Duty. I was looking really forward to that. So that game obviously is out on Game Pass.
It is.
Modern Warfare 2, isn't it?
I have the Xbox hardware. I have been playing it.
So it's cross-platform. My friend's got PlayStation 5. Mentioned it to him. We were looking forward to play it together. He had it anyway. It would have been worse if we went and bought it as a result, but he had it anyway. But he uninstalled it because it's such a massive game. Takes up a lot of space. So he's like, oh yeah, I'll put it back on. Went to play it. I couldn't find it on Game Pass and realised it's not on the cloud. And that was so frustrating because I was looking forward to play that.
I bet you were absolutely fuming.
Console. And now I'm thinking, will the new Call of Duty be on the cloud, or is it just going to be the console?
No, actually, that's I will have a look.
Game Pass is the Call of Duty game, so
Black Ops 6 be on cloud gaming. Call of Duty Play Day 1 with Game Pass. Let's see if it says. It does just say Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, and PC. It does not mention cloud on the official Xbox website.
Well, that doesn't look promising, then, does it?
That does not, I'm afraid. Yeah, it says optimized for Xbox Series X, S. Pre-order, you get a camo pack, technology, single player, best in multiplayer, zombies, game details, platforms. Yep, just says Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and Windows 10 11. So I've got some bad news for you, I'm afraid. Looks like it's a no. Okay. Now, what it was, I expect it offline. When it was the UK Competition Authority blocked the Activision sale, the $69 billion thing, the one sticking point they had was having control over cloud gaming. And so the compromise they came up with was they offloaded Call of Duty cloud gaming, and it was given over to Ubisoft, which was really weird when it happened. But anyway, so I think what it is technically Microsoft have to pay Ubisoft, who then probably have to pay Microsoft in some way or form because of it being their property to play on Game Pass. So what's happening there and whether it will happen, I don't know. But seeing as Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is the first Call of Duty on Game Pass, I think it's early days, so I don't think maybe never, but yeah, it's going to be really annoying if every single Call of Duty that comes to Game Pass, you're going to be like, is it on cloud? No. And it's
That's
really annoying.
the other moan I want to have as well. So I've been playing FIFA or EA FC 24 as it's called, because that's on Game Pass now.
It is. Yeah.
And I wanted to play the Doom games as well. But both those games, so EA, you have to have an EA account to play it. And then I tried to play Doom, and you have to have a Bethesda account to play it. So this was the Doom internal. I don't know if it's with all the Dooms. I was like, why do I need an account just to play a game? I just wanted to play it. With the EA one, I had an account anyway, so it was easy to connect. But with the Bethesda one, I didn't. I did, and I couldn't remember the password. And then it was saying it was going to email me, and I couldn't find my email. I couldn't find a device with my emails on, so I was like, you know what, I just won't play Doom. So I don't know why so many.
Which Doom were you trying to play? One of the 2016?
Doom Eternal, so the newest.
Doom Eternal.
Yeah, the newest one. So yeah,
it's a bit annoying. I mean, EA do actually make it easy to make an account, because if you're playing on Xbox hardware, it automatically detects your account and logs you in. And I presume it's the same on PlayStation. I don't know. I haven't owned a PlayStation since PS2. But Bethesda, yeah, I mean, that's just a data collection thing. You don't buy anything through there.
And it's not like, I know that some games, why they would do it. Like if it's a cross-platform, you could go on to another game, like Diablo or whatever. Log into your account, have your character on an Xbox, have your character on a PlayStation. So there's some benefits, but I couldn't see any benefit apart from Bethesda having your details. But, hey.
Yeah, no, it should be. Yeah, if they go, okay, you need this for your purchases on Bethesda.net, your Battle.net or whatever. Fine, okay. So if you just go, I don't want to have an account, there should be. You will only be able to play single player, and you can go, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I only want to play. I know there is a 2-player, isn't there? Multi online on Doom, isn't there? But
there is multiplayer. I haven't touched it.
But yeah, I just wanted to play the main game. I fancy to go into, but I played.
Same with Call of Duty for me. I mean, I've got a Call of Duty account, and my stats probably go like, campaigns played 8 or whatever, and times played on multiplayer 0. Pretty much.
You don't need an account to go on Starfield, do you? Because I definitely went on Starfield without.
Don't believe so. No, don't quote me on that. But no, I don't believe you do. They have released the Creation Club for it now, so that might require an account. But I think generally the Creation Club is linked to the platform username, so whether that's your gamer tag, your PSN ID, or something like that. Whether that's cross-platform, if you buy something on the Creation Club, I'm not sure, because I've never bought anything off the Creation Club. I don't know anybody who has. So Yeah, it is all a bit annoying that it's not all on cloud.
Yeah.
Pardon?
I was going about just the login stuff. Like if you like with EA, like you said,
Yeah.
you could log in through your Microsoft account, and that would be easier, wouldn't it? Because you've got to log in, get the Game Pass thing.
If it was automatic, it should be automatic. And if you were on Xbox Cloud, you should be able to just go, I'm on EA. This is my gamer tag. My gamer tag is it. Have you linked your gamer tag?
I don't know. It's all like, I think when I go on games, it's always the same.
If you go on to like EA.com or whatever and log in and Bethesda.net and all these kind of things, generally they'll have a linked accounts thing. Most of the time, I think EA does it automatically, where if you log in on the website, it says, "Oh, you've got an Xbox gamer tag or a PSN ID." But Bethesda, I think you probably have to manually do it. I think again, don't quote me on that.
Look into it then.
But do that on a desktop browser, and fingers crossed, next time they'll just go, "Oh, you've already got an account." But especially, I can imagine it's quite annoying on cloud gaming because, especially if it's pixelated or whatever, and you can't even read the letters when you try to type your username in.
It just takes a long time to type as well, doesn't it? Like on a controller, it's not like a keypad. Yeah. Like after about 5 failed attempts at trying to guess my password, I was like, "This is just taking too long." They can email me it all they want. I don't have a device where I can just get onto my email at the moment because I have a phone with technology from the early 2000s. So
I've had a lot of people who I've spoken to when varying degrees of ease for when you have a problem with an email. Me personally, I had an email that I used for a lot of these that was closed down. My email was closed down. That I used I've had for about 15 years, and it just suddenly closed down. So I had to contact EA. I think Bethesda, Epic, Rockstar. It wasn't Xbox. I'd already transferred them over. But yeah, I think Sony as well. The only ones who absolutely point blank refused to do anything were Rockstar. Rockstar were just the worst. They literally just went, "No." I went, "What do I do about all my stuff?" "You lost it." That was basically their response. I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, screw you then." So yeah, definitely don't lose your login for Rockstar. The other ones that wasn't particularly great was Sony, because what I'd done was I'd made one with the email, so that I had the new email, not forgetting that I had another one that had a couple of purchases on, and there was no way to merge. So I was like, "But I've bought things on both on different platforms," and they were like, "Then you'll have 2 logins." And I'm like, "But I can't log into that one because the email's invalid now. So I want it on this email." And they went, "You've already got an account on that." I know! I want to merge them. And despite the fact that I could prove that I owned both of them, they wouldn't merge them. So, yeah.
You've got lots of games.
Thankfully, no. It was a few games on PSP and PS Vita kind of thing, or PS3 on one of them, and then PS Vita on the other one. So I just kept the one with the PS Vita because that had my more recent email, and it was a bit better. Like quite a lot more games on the Vita that I owned. So yeah,
it can be a bit of a hindrance, but the way that I might be different with the Switch because I can't really try it. But with the Wii U, it just stays on your Wii U. You buy your games, stays on your Wii U, but it does mean you got to keep all that Wii U. And if you ever sell that Wii U, the person who buys the Wii U gets all the games.
So there was no Nintendo account on there.
There is so that's how you purchase it through a Nintendo account. But if you got a new Wii U, you could go onto the games wouldn't be there. They're on the Wii U.
Oh, wow, they're linked.
So it's good in some ways because if you sell it, you can get the money because you can sell it and say I got Donkey Kong Country on it, all the Zelda games on it, which I do on my one. But
I know that people had a problem with the Switch games were linked. Yeah, games they were linked to the Switch, weren't they?
When I went on this, because I've had the Switch and I used the same Nintendo account to get all my Switches on my Wii U. None of my Wii U stuff was on there, so. But yeah,
I'm just looking up here. Somebody said that the Wii U is linked to the account, but the account is essentially linked to the system. You can only have one Nintendo NNID on one system at a time. The only way to move it to another is with a system transfer. Otherwise, Nintendo has to unlink it on there and to add it to another system to which all your purchases will be tied. Okay, so it was a pain in the arse to transfer a Wii U.
So just keep the Wii U then, and then it'll hope that don't break.
So if you need a system transfer, blimey, you have to contact Nintendo to unlink it. Well, thankfully, as you said, you've just got the one. So
anyway, what have you been playing this week?
I've been playing Crash Bandicoot. Like you, I've done the first world of Crash Bandicoot 1. I'm not enjoying this, so I tried Crash Bandicoot 2. I'm much more enjoying that, but it's a lot more playable than number 1. But they are both. So I really don't remember them being this hard. It's either that they were actually hard, or I think I'm just getting older and more rubbish at games.
Yeah, because you would have been playing them when you were an adult, whereas I was playing them as a child. So I'm thinking, surely I must be better now than when I was 8 or whenever they came out.
Or you're on the decline.
But yeah, they are very hard.
So I haven't tried number 3. I remember number 3 being, I think I've tried it before and I remember it being quite hard. Was that on PlayStation 1 as well, or was that PlayStation 2?
I think those 3 are all PlayStation games, aren't they? And then I think there was like Twin Sanity, which came out PS.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, I think those 3 were PlayStations.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, they're great games, and they're a bit of history. I don't really want my 6-year-old to play it because he'll just. He really wants to, and I was like, you're not going to get on well with this. He might surprise me, but I don't think he will. I don't think he'll like it. I think he'll play a couple of levels, and then once he gets to like level 2 or 3, he's going to give up within about 30 seconds. But so what I've been dying actually to talk about a game that came on Game Pass about 3 weeks ago, I think, maybe 4. It's called Kunitsu. I don't know if is it Gami, Kunitsu Gami, Path of the Goddess. Now it's come out of nowhere, really. It's a Capcom game, and I'll try and describe it as best as possible. It's a hack and slash game where you create it's sort of your From Software style fighting, but not quite as hard as that. Has some challenge to it, but you have it's a third person sort of overhead, sort of isometric view. Anyway, so you have quite brilliant looking monsters, and you have to hack and slash them. But what you're doing is it's like a tower defense game. You go into a level, and you have to cleanse the area. So there's bits that you have to cleanse, but there's also people that you have to cleanse. So you just go up, hold B for like 3 seconds, and you clear them. Now, those villagers you can then give roles to, like archer, woodcutter, which is basically a general soldier kind of thing. And you can have healers, you can have thieves that will find things for you. And the main person you're trying to protect is this sort of a witch, goddess. Well, she's the goddess that you have to make a path for. Now, she very slowly throughout a day-night cycle in the day walks forward doing this dancing, and you're going around cleansing the areas and getting bits that are repaired, like barriers and places for the archers to stand on. And then when the night comes along, the woman doesn't move, so you have to make sure you stop her in a defensible area. And then some monsters come out of the what is essentially the exit for you. Eventually, you get to, and you have to defeat the monsters. There's different ones. There's little easily defeated ones, and it's as I said, hack and slash. So heavy hit and normal hits. There's magic. And then you've got your villagers that you've cleansed that you have to position around the woman to protect her, and in different choke points to kill them. And they have health that you have to heal them. You can change their roles anytime you want, but you have to have the currency, which is the stuff you get from cleansing things. You have to have that to be able to change their roles. And then after each day-night cycle, when you get to the end, you do a little cleansing dance, and all the villagers you save do a dance. Excuse me, look at me doing dad dancing. Yeah, looking really cool. And then you cleanse the exit, and you exit. And it's just brilliantly done. It's really good. I'm not a fan of nowadays of really Japanesey games. Like games that you go, well, that's definitely made in Japan kind of thing. I haven't really liked many in the last sort of 10 years, maybe 20 years even. But this, it's just brilliant. I like tower defense games. And it is basically a real-time strategy, tower defense, hack and slash, and it's done really well. And then after each level, you get a boss level where you get a certain amount of villagers, and you have to position them around the woman and in various places. And there's normally a trick to getting big lumps of their health off. But they have normally attacks like unblockable attacks and this kind of thing. And it's and then once you've done a level, you can go back into it and you build different parts up. So, I mean, it's a very basic builder. You just go in there and you might need 2 villagers or 5 villagers or something to repair something. So you have to, and it takes either one round or 2 rounds or 3 rounds to build something. And then you get upgrades and level up points and all this kind of thing. So it's the monsters look great. They're really, I wouldn't say creepy, but they're proper good Japanese mythology monsters kind of thing. It looks pretty. It runs really well. It has some challenge to it, but it's not as difficult as your Dark Souls or that kind of thing. It's doable for someone like me. Plus, you can also have some easy things to make it a little bit easier for people who are rubbish at games like me. I cannot recommend it enough. I mean, I still to this day think that Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is the best game of 2024 that came out in January. And this is pushing it for it. It's that good for me. Superb. So I recommend it. Now, I'm probably butchering it. Kunitsu Gami, Path of the Goddess. Fantastic game. There you go.
Yeah.
Can you tell I've been wanting to get out of the system?
I know we haven't spoken about what we've played because we've just spoke. We've had a pretty busy show. We've had
really
interviews,
good themes, yeah.
And we've had things to talk about. I can see that you've been holding on to that.
Yeah, I mean, I played the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 campaign, and yeah, it's all right.
What you expect from the Call of Duty game?
I mean, it's quite good that it has some open world levels where you can do things stealthily or not stealthily. But it's Call of Duty, and the campaign. There's people who are apparently in the other ones who I'm like, I have no idea who that is, so I have to look them up. At the end of the day, it's a Call of Duty campaign. I want to look at somebody and go pew pew pew, and them to die. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, like they have these big trailers, don't they? Like when the Xbox showcase and they start with the Call of Duty trailer. It's just like any other Call of Duty trailer. It's just the time period is different. So
it works well.
Yeah, I mean, they have footage of political figures from the time, so like Ronald Reagan or George Bush or whatever, depending on when the game is based.
They're JFK and Call of
JFK, yeah, and they'll use actual news footage of them speaking, and then there'll be some shooting, and have like some good music in the background.
Yeah, it's got good pew pew. The pew pew is good, but it's Call of Duty again.
Have you tried out the zombies or not?
I did, but because I don't like people, I just did it by myself, and by myself I was running around going, I don't know what I'm doing.
They definitely have made it more complicated with like the having to open up certain gates to get to certain places, and then the boxes in certain places, and then
the first one was just like a barn or something, wasn't it? The first ever zombies.
Yeah,
I
think
barn,
the first one was
building.
World at War, was that the first zombie?
I think so. Yeah.
And it was very basic, wasn't it? Where it was just how long could you survive, and then
there was like a couple of doors you could open, but it was all still it was like a farm or something like that, or a petrol station.
I know there was like a glitch on it as well, where you get into a corner where they couldn't hit you. But the issue was if you ran out of ammo, you're a bit screwed, because then you'd have to get out of the corner, and unless you got
thousand zombies.
Unless you got a flamethrower, it was infinite. But when it got to really high levels, it would take ages. So you'd be sat there with a flamethrower for about 20 minutes trying to kill one. And
like trying to punch obsidian in Minecraft. I think I've read somewhere that takes 40 minutes, something like that.
Never played Minecraft.
If you punch obsidian, you have to get it, to like actually pick up the material, you have to have diamond, and even with a diamond pickaxe, it takes like, I don't know, like 10 seconds or something to get one piece. So if you haven't got a tool and you've got to get through some obsidian, you have to punch it. It can take it's something stupid like 40 minutes to get one piece, and then you don't even get it. I think it just disappears. It breaks and disappears. But yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, that sounds a bit like the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the main ones. I mean, the original Doom and Doom 2.
Yes, I did see.
Have come out on Game Pass.
Are they remasters, or are they just?
No, I think it's. I don't know. There probably is something extra, or there's some extra levels or something like that. But I think that the image that I've seen is like a cartridge with Doom 1 and 2 on it. So I think they're just versions of Doom and Doom 2, which I think. Do I have it? I'm sure I have a Doom, the original Doom on various platforms, probably Xbox. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, that's mostly what I've played on Game Pass the last few weeks. Although, tell you what, one thing I have also played. Oh yeah, we'll go on to another one that is a very good game. It's called The Case of the Golden Idol. Now, I've wanted to play this on PC for a long time because I'd heard very good reviews of it,
Not to shut you down, Duncan, but we have spoken about the
Have we? Oh,
the detective one, isn't it?
yes. Oh,
Yeah,
yes. We
yeah.
did talk about
But
it.
you can talk
But
about it.
I've completed it now.
All
And
right, okay.
me
That's enough.
and the wife bought one of the DLC. Well, I think we're going to buy the next one tomorrow because we completed the DLC. But the DLC is like £4.50 or something. So nice cheap one. But yeah, if you like puzzles, logic puzzles, and working things out, absolutely brilliant. But equally, it has quite good tips. So even if you're not very good, you'll soon work it out, and it will help you along the way. But yeah, I don't really think I've played much other than those. Yeah, that's about it, really. Well, pardon me. One thing we haven't done we did do last week, but is on this day. What came out this week? System Shock 2, 25 years. System Shock 2 is 25 years old. My goodness.
What console was that?
That was PC. There is a remake out now. But yeah, it was like a precursor to things like Deus Ex, Half-Life. It was, very much a sort of, you could do things in different ways. And yeah, it was a defining game. 25 years ago. Wow. That's, I suppose, 1999. I don't know about you, but does 1999 seem like a long time ago?
Does to be, yeah.
It does seem it is. Just I was 20. I was 21.
So yeah, anything in the 90s.
Oh god! Well, you see, I mean, for me, I just find it weird that people born in the 2000s could drink. All right, really? Oh yes, it's 2024. Oh blimey!
What makes me feel old is that when you think about the 90s now as the equivalent when you were in the 90s, which I remember very well, it's the equivalent of the 60s. So the 60s, the 90s is equivalent of the 90s now to the 90s, if that makes sense.
Sort of. Well, if you go by half my age, I mean, I was 23 in 2000. Yeah, I was about half my age.
So when you were in the 90s, when you thought about the 60s, it was like, the 60s.
Yeah, I've got you.
Back in the old days.
I mean, my dad was a teenager in the 60s,
and now 2024. The 90s is the equivalent of the 60s as it was in the 90s. So people who are growing up now would think of the 90s as the 60s as we would have done, or not you, but I would have done when I was growing up in the 90s. So
that's scary.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, no, no. You see, to me, it wasn't that long ago that I was 21 and all that, but that was more than half my age.
25 years ago, you'd have to go to get to 1999, wouldn't you? So,
well, I was researching. I was researching for our next topic about building things, and one thing that I remembered was 3D construction kit, which was on loads of different formats, even the Spectrum, and you could build 3D things in it, and that was like the 80s. And I'm thinking I would have been at most 11 when it came out, and yet I can remember that, no problem. And as if it was yesterday. I don't think I ever played it, but looking at it, I think I did. I think a friend might have had a pirated version on the Amiga, which worked a bit better than the Spectrum one, which is about like one frame every 3 seconds. And it wasn't particularly great at that.
But, no one's watching from Amiga. You might try and find your friend, hunt them down. 40 years.
Now, if I remember rightly, that friend might be in prison now because he turned into when he became an adult, became a drug dealer. So yeah, no, I don't want to hunt that friend down.
Precursor to it. Then.
Yeah. He was a bit different when he was a child.
Yeah, a lot of people are, aren't they?
And sometimes as you get older, you go, I wonder what so and so is doing nowadays, and you look up and go, oh.
Search them on Facebook, and you see people leaving comments like,
Yeah,
see you when you're out.
Sometimes you get the other way around where you're like, oh, so and so, they're probably working in fast food or something. It's like there they are on holiday in the Seychelles, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. But then doing a podcast.
I random person comes up in my head, like some person I went to school with 20 years ago, who I didn't really speak to that much, but I'm just like, I wonder what they're up to nowadays. Search them on Facebook. Not.
Nice.
Oh yeah, there you go. And they're on. Sometimes they're not on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. But when they are, yeah, it's like quite.
Unfortunately for a lot of women, if they got married, obviously the name has changed, so you can't find them, kind of thing. So, fortunately, women
put in brackets, don't they? They're old.
Yeah, sometimes they do.
So people like us can search for them when we want to know what they're up to.
And it's not creepy at all.
I do it more for men than it.
It is. I was going to say it's more for men.
Because I'm just like more curiosity, like. I wonder what that person's doing nowadays.
And let's face it, most of the time it's you're going, is my life better than theirs? which sometimes nowadays with all the Insta people, they're like, look at my life is wonderful. What you actually don't see is the fact that they're twice divorced, the kids hate them. Yeah, they got no money and they're spent it all on signs that say, dance in the rain like nobody's looking. All that kind of thing. Live, love. Ah!
Yeah, definitely don't do that on this podcast. We do not make it look any better than it actually is.
Hang on. We're saying all these things out loud. It's just your other half wants signs up saying live, love.
Don't, no. There are some signs, but not live, laugh.
Live, love. Live.
Yeah.
No, I mean, thankfully, my wife is not one that is does not care about what we look like on Instagram, because we're not on Instagram. So, back to gaming. I don't even know what we were talking about.
System Shock 2, and then we somehow.
Oh yes, System Shock 2, and being old.
From System Shock 2.
Now, was Paper Mario on the N64 originally?
Yes.
Well, in that case, Paper Mario is 24 years old. That's another one that's pretty old.
I think that's the first ever one that was on N64.
Came out in 2000. Yeah, 24 years ago, it came out in Japan. But hang on, so I don't know what year we got it, because back in those days, quite often, a game would come out in 2000. It wouldn't come out for us. Oh, Breath of Fire. There you go. That's a big one. Breath of Fire came out on the Super Nintendo 30 years ago. Did you ever play that one? RPG?
No.
I
didn't really. I was more a Sega Mega Drive person. So.
See, I've never played it. It's always one that I've wanted to, because it's one that I'm often recommended whenever I've asked for sort of retro RPGs. It always comes up Breath of Fire, the original one. But yeah, 30 years ago, 1994, on August the 10th. I didn't really get into Japanese RPGs until Final Fantasy VII, really. I did play the Ultima games, and there was a space RPG, I think, called Star Control, which was fantastic. That was on Mega Drive. Did you ever play that, Star Control? You basically you had a spaceship and you flew around, and when you bumped into another spaceship, you could attack them, trade with them, talk to them. It was sort of like Elite, but 2D. a basic Elite. Yeah, pretty good.
I haven't played that game. Sorry I reckon Tom would have definitely.
No. Here's a game. I don't know if you played this. It was on the Dreamcast. Seaman.
Yes, really. It's about a man around the sea rather than the other.
Well, it was. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's the one that's got like a guy's face on a fish. It was a very weird game when it came out, and I think there was loads of secrets and people wondering what was going on, and people are still researching it, or there was things found in it and all that kind of stuff. But weird game. It's Seaman, not SEMEN. It's SEAMAN. I'd recommend people look it up. There's nothing bad. It's literally a guy's face on a fish. But yeah, I'd look it up just for the hilarity's sake. Hang on, I'm just double checking that it is actually safe for work. Well, it's not really safe for work because people will go, "Why are you looking at a man's face on a fish?" But it was a weird game when it came out, and it's still a weird game now. I'm just looking at screenshots of it. I think it was basically you just controlled this little fish head man face thing, and it talked to you and said random things. Yeah, whether there was an actual game, I don't know, but look it up. Dreamcast.
What do you think? Why the Dreamcast failed when it had games like that?
Well, it was obviously a 99 out of 100 perfect game.
That couldn't save it.
Nothing to do with the easily pirated games or anything like that. But no, it was definitely the fact that they had a game called Seaman. Oh, the games that you could get. Oregon Trail, not Oregon Trail. I think that's about it for on this day. Anything? Oh, Dead Rising. My goodness, how old do you think Dead Rising, the original 360 Dead Rising, is? Just spitball a year.
2006.
Wow, bang on.
Yeah, get it.
Bang on. That was it a launch title?
I'm just thinking of it. It was 360, wasn't it? So I'm just going with when.
It was 360, 18 years ago, on August the 8th, on the Xbox 360. Well, hang on, there would be a load of Xbox 360 games on here if it was launch date, but 2006. Oh, fantastic game, and although because of the time limits you had on it, you couldn't actually enjoy the game. You had to race through the game as quick as you could. Which Dead Rising 2 got rid of that, thankfully, because the first one, you had to. It wasn't real time, but it was time limited, so you had to finish the game within a certain amount of time. But I think, was it the first one that there was an achievement for killing the same amount of people that were in the town? So you had to kill it was something like 3,600 or maybe even more than that people, and in the time it was very hard. Great game though. In the time, good series. I enjoyed that series.
Yeah, I like the games. They're fun, weren't they? Ooh.
Oh, you go. There's another one. Five Nights at Freddy's 10 years ago. Have you ever played any of the Five Nights games?
Yeah. Are they on Game Pass?
I don't know actually. Don't think they are. There are various Five Nights games on console, but mostly I think that there's all sorts of ones. But I think I can't remember his name now. Who created it? Hang on, Five Nights founder.
Do they have a film?
Scott Cawthorne. Yeah, there was a film which they made PG-13, so 12 in this country. And yeah, it was not particularly scary. It wasn't particularly great. But I think he's had also. Hang on. Yeah, so he's come out as like quite political. So he's a Trump supporter. Yeah, basically. So yeah, he's become a bit of a. He's not controversial as such, but he's a bit of a right wing guy or rightish wing. So yeah. But yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's games. No, I don't want those kind of. It's me. I'm a wuss with these things.
Are they? I've never played. Are they scary? Are they? Yeah.
Well, we'll go with the first one. The first one, you are a security employee at a fast food restaurant that had animatronic characters, and you are brought in to watch the place at night. And you cannot move or anything. You sit at a security desk, and you have entrances to the room to the side of you, and I think there's like a ventilation above you and whatever, and then you have access to the cameras, and you will look at the cameras, and there'll be a duck, an animatronic duck there, just stationary, and you'll go to another camera, come back, and the animatronic duck will have either changed position or not be there. And eventually you have to keep an eye on where they are and do certain things in certain orders to survive the night without them getting to you. And they get to you by jumping out and screaming at you. Like literally like, ah! Kind of in your face. They're proper jump scares. No thanks. Nope.
They're pretty creepy looking, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's a Freddy something, because Freddy is the bear. Yeah, hang on. I'm just trying to find it. What his name is? It's Freddy. No, not Freddy Fazbear, because that's from the Muppets, isn't it? Five Nights. What's the characters? What are the characters called? It's Freddy Fazbear. Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. And then there's loads of secrets in it. And the reason it became popular, not only was it was a sort of new format, but it also had loads of secrets that people could find and methods of how people could do it. And so it was a brilliant one for streamers to play. And so it became very popular. And now there's about 20 different games, I think. I'm looking at here. There's Five Nights at Freddy's 1, 2, 3, 4. Five Nights at Freddy's World. Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location. Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. Ultimate Custom Night. Help Wanted. Special Delivery. Freddy in Space 2.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know there was a Freddy in Space 1.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that going, what? Freddy in Space 2 is a side-scrolling platform shooter game. Oh, there was a Freddy in Space minigame from Five Nights at Freddy World. So, I mean, a lot of the games are either very cheap or free. So, if you want to scare, go ahead. Yeah, but me personally, I'm a wuss, and I don't want to. Thank you very much. Yeah. Anyway, anything else you've got to natter about games this week?
I don't know. I think I'm all nattered out in terms of.
I think it's just hot here at the moment, isn't it? I don't know about over there in the west of the UK.
Yeah, it was been very hot today.
And apparently it's going to be hotter tomorrow. Now, Americans will go, well, you haven't got air conditioning. No, because we have about 3 days a year when we need it. And those 3 days a year, we suffer and moan.
It's hot.
Yeah. By next week...
Our heat is different to any other country. Like,
yeah, we have central heating.
When I go to Spain or whatever, 35 degrees in Spain it just doesn't hit the same as 35 degrees in the UK.
Yeah, it's really humid here. Yeah, but I can imagine for Americans it would be the equivalent of Florida, because Florida is very wet, like humid, and it feels just sticky. But yeah, here we have air conditioning here, and if you go most shops. It has air conditioning. Yeah, supermarkets, they all have air conditioning, but homes, there's absolutely no need for it. Just waste of electricity, really. But yeah, it's hot, and we're gonna have a drink and go to bed because it's late at night. Right. So hopefully next episode, Tom will be back, and we will be nattering about building things. So if people want to talk. Or want us to talk about something in particular, let us know. Like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And we will see you in episode 57. 57?
Already. Yeah, 57.
And that's it. Right. Bye.